Hey guys, I want to do another reading lesson. I wanted to give you another tool that you can use to help understand your books. And the tool is that we don't just read the words in our books, but we try to understand the words in our books, especially words that are new to us that we've never seen before. Now, we learned in nonfiction books that you come to a lot of new words that you've never heard. And we learned things you can do, like use the picture and look around the word that you don't know to try to figure out what the new word means. Well, as you read harder and harder fiction books, you're going to come to words that you don't know as well, words that are new. And you need to use the tools to first say the word the best you can. And then you have to think about what the word means. You can use different clues. You can use the picture. You can use things you already know. You can make a movie in your mind. You can use the words around the new word. And you try to understand the best that you can. So I'm going to show you in this book, The Littles, that is based on the books by John Peterson, that when you come to a new word that you don't know, you don't want to just mumble through the word. You want to try to say it the best you can and then think about what it means. One thing that you can do, besides using the picture and the words around it, is try to substitute or try to put a word that you do know that means the same thing in the place of the word that you don't know. So if I start here on this page, and it says, "Don't worry," said Cousin Dinky. "I know the way, and I'm not afraid of mice and squirrels. I'll take you all in my glider, but it only has 2 seats, so we'll have to walk." "All right," said Mr. Little, "but I'm coming too." "Hooray," Lucy shouted. "We can go tomorrow." "I'll stay home with Granny and Baby Betsy," Mrs. Little said. And then I come to the next page where it says, "The next day, the 5 littles got ready for the long hike." Now, I knew how to pronounce that word because I remembered that the magic E makes the I say I, or the vowel say its name a lot of times. So, hike. But what is a hike? If I didn't know what a hike was, the next day the 5 littles got ready for the hike. Well, I can't really tell from the picture. It looks like they're going somewhere. And I see on the next page they're outside somewhere. Does it mean go outside? Let me keep reading. It says they all had weapons in case they met any wild animals. Lucy's weapon was a jar of pepper. That doesn't help me. But if I think about the page that I read before, when Cousin Dinky was talking and said that he was going to take them in his glider, the plane, but it only has 2 seats, so we'll have to walk. I wonder if hike means the same as walk. The next day, the 5 littles got ready for the long walk. Yeah, that sounds right. And then, if I kept reading in the book, I see that they had to go from their house all the way to the Smalls' house. So how was it going to get there? They were going to have to walk or run or something. And I see them walking in the pictures. So I think that hike means walk. On this page it says by noon the littles had hiked all the way across the big yard. There's the word hiked again. Hiked. Now let's look at this word. They pull up bed. Let me write it on the board. Pull up bed. Plopped. 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 Well, I know the ED makes 3 sounds, so I'm not sure, but what does plopped mean? They plopped down to rest. Well, I knew they took a long walk, so I know in my brain that if I took a long walk, I'd probably be tired. So maybe I would just flop down to rest or sit down to rest. And I see in the picture that they're all sitting, so maybe plopped means the same as sit. Or sat. They sat down to rest. Yeah, that makes sense, and it matches the picture. So I think plopped means sat. What about on the next page? It says, suddenly they heard a loud whoosh above them. A dark, scary shadow fell over the ground. Lucy looked up and gasped. 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 Let's see. I said it the best I can. Gasped. gasped. But what does gasped mean? A huge bird was sweeping down on Tom. It dug its claws into his backpack and started lifting him into the air. Well, I see in the picture Tom's mouth is open. He looks scared. If I was picked up by a bird, I would be scared too. Maybe my mouth would be open. My eyes would be big. And maybe I'd be screaming. So maybe gasp means scared. Or maybe it means your mouth fell open. Lucy looked up and gasped. Well, it's something that she's doing. It's an action. So maybe it means your mouth is open. Because I see in the picture her mouth is open. So you try to understand the word the best you can. First, you try to say it the best you can, then you try to understand it the best you can. Let me show you one more example in Henry and Mudge and the Cold Shivers by Cynthia Ryland. And remember when Mudge gets sick, and it says when Henry woke up and jumped out of bed, Mudge didn't move. He didn't lick Henry's face. And then it says Henry and Henry's mother tried to put Mudge in the car to go to the doctor. But Mudge was tired and he didn't want to go. And then a few pages later, I come to this page where it says, bath time, Mudge, Henry said. And Mudge hopped right in the car and they drove to the vet. Now that's an easy word for me to pronounce, but what if I didn't know what a vet was? Mudge knew the vet and he didn't want to see her. She made him nervous. Oh, I see she's dressed in a white coat. And I remember that they said that they were taking Mudge to the doctor. So is vet another word for doctor? Maybe it's a doctor for animals. Okay, and if I turn the page, I see all the animals in the waiting room at the vet's office. So I think it's a doctor for animals. Now you see how I used the clues and I stopped? So the first thing you have to do is notice when there's a new word that you don't know. And then the second thing is you need to try to say it the best you can. And then the third thing is you think about it. Think about what it means and use all those clues. Use the words around it. Use the picture. Use what you already know. Put a word in its place that might mean the same thing. Okay? And the reason you need to do this is because it will help you understand your books even better. Okay? I'll see you next time.